Hey guys, welcome back to Team 6K. This is Undead, and today we are going to be talking about their Allure of Darkness. Alongside the new main box Zillion Thunder, we also got a bundle deal for this card alongside sleeves for its art and 17 packs for the new box. And all of it costs 950 gems. That's not a bad deal in my book, since 17 packs normally cost 850 gems, meaning that you're getting sleeves and a good card for 100 gems. But whether the card is worth obtaining isn't what I want to talk about today. It is definitely a good card, however, there are a lot of people that are putting it into decks that it doesn't work in. Allure of Darkness is a normal spell that will draw 2 cards, then banish a dark monster from your hand. Then if you don't have any dark monsters in your hand to banish, send your entire hand to the grave. This is a pretty good card if your deck is full of dark monsters, so you can use this to dig into your deck for a card that you might need in a given situation. The issue is though that many players are using this card in decks that aren't playing many dark monsters. If I were to make an educated guess, I would say that these people see a card that lets them draw 2 cards and they feel like they can't pass up an effect like that. It's true that this card does draw 2 cards, however, unlike something like Pot of Greed, this card doesn't give you a plus, because you do have to banish a dark monster from your hand, so using this card for the purposes of card advantage doesn't work. When we are considering card advantage, a card can either allow us to plus, minus, or go even. To plus means that when we use a card, the result of using it is that we have more cards than we started off with before using it. To minus means that when we use a card, the result of using it is that we have less cards than we started with before using it. And to go even means the result of using a card is that we have the same amount of cards that we started with before using it. Many players make the mistake of feeling like they have to play Allure of Darkness if their deck has any dark monsters in it, because they see the words draw 2 and they see it as a plus. But Allure of Darkness actually goes even, because if you have it and a dark monster in hand, then you activate that Allure and then banish the dark monster from hand. Now you have 2 fresh cards in hand, the exact same amount you started with. This is not a bad thing at all. Going even with draws is definitely not a bad thing. It still allows you to dig deeper into your deck so you can have easier access to the cards you want to see. But if your deck has a lot of cards that aren't dark monsters like spells, traps, or other monsters that aren't dark, then there is a good chance that you will be banishing a monster that you need for the combo. And now you're sitting there with just as many cards as before, but if you didn't activate that Allure, you'd still be able to do your combo. Where Allure of Darkness shines is in decks that are made up of a majority of dark monsters. So when Allure makes you banish one from the hand, you have a lot to choose from in your hand, so you'll still be able to make your plays and you won't feel so bad about it. And even in those decks, it isn't a mandatory include, because going even isn't always necessary for consistency if the deck is consistent enough without it. Some people watching this video might have had experiences where they had a lot of cards in the deck that weren't dark monsters and they activated Allure of Darkness and it was fine. They were still able to do their combo. That's great. However, when we build our decks, we don't put a card in there because it's sometimes good and sometimes bad. We want to put cards in a deck that are always good. We don't want to have a card in our hand that we don't want to use. We would rather that card in our hand be something we do want to use. That's why always playing cards that are always good is important. Allure of Darkness will not always be good in a deck like Raid Raptors, where half the deck is spells. It won't be good in a deck like Dark Magician, where half the deck is back row. It won't be good in Black Wings, where we prefer our limited 1 slot to be Volafernagus. It might be alright in DDD, but to be real, DDD isn't lacking its own consistency. It needs a turn 1 play, and Allure doesn't help with that. It isn't good in Orcust because they'd rather have that field spell or that trap. The list goes on. Really, you only want to be using it in a deck that is mostly made up of dark monsters. Although there is one reason you might want to play this card, and that is with a deck that has synergy with a banish effect. Something like Thunder Dragons, where they actually get to activate effects if they're banished, might very much like to play Allure of Darkness. In fact, somebody got a spicy win streak with Thunder Dragons using Allure of Darkness to trigger their effects and effectively go +1, because the going even of Allure and the effect of the Thunder Dragon that got banished results in 1 more card than you started off with. Shout out to G1 for doing well with Thunder Dragons and Allure of Darkness. If you guys have anything to add to this discussion, or if you have any questions or thoughts about it, be sure to leave them in the comments and we can talk about it more there. It would be great if we could have more in-depth conversation about this so that we can all come to a common understanding. But yeah guys, let us know if you like these kinds of videos. If you did, then slap like now, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that bell to get notified every time we make a new video, and I've been Undead from Team 6K, signing out.
Hey, why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the gym, but they leave all the weight on me. I don't ask them to wait on me. They would ask where they gon' be with a song if they wanted the weatherman. I ain't asking to pay no fees. She was homeless and needed a spot. I ain't ask her to pay no lease. I ain't ask her to say no please. I ain't ask her to make no cheese. Scream fake, but it ain't on me. Got clean so it ain't no streets. Why green if it ain't no keeps? Brought cream so it ain't no beef. My team say it ain't no chief. My demon, they hang on me. They seemingly ain't no peace. I seen him, he ain't no beast. For real.